Growing up, my dad always told me that opinions are like ears. Everybody has a couple. And regardless of what you do, say, or the person you become, someone somewhere is going to have an opinion about what you should have or could have done, or what they would have done if they were in your shoes. But they're not. And if they truly care to be, maybe you can donate an old pair to them that may or may not fit. Maybe that will satisfy their urge to criticize without really experiencing the path you're walking. I digress. In today's conversation, I'm sharing 7 ways to help you mindfully care less of what people think. Let's jump into it. Number 1, everyone has insecurities of their own. Turns out, insecurity is not an oversight of evolution. As we continue to grow, learn, and evolve, our insecurities have a way of following us like our shadows do on a sunny day. What makes insecurities interesting is that nearly every one of us, you, me, and millions more who classify themselves as human, we all share one common insecurity. We're afraid of not being good enough. To hide this fear, we turn ourselves into perfectionists. We work excessively, or conversely, we may self-sabotage or punish ourselves, which I'll talk more about later. Or we may become overly opinionated and critical of others, something many of us do subconsciously without even noticing it. Now, I said that to say this. Often people are much more comfortable criticizing others than doing what it takes to minimize their own insecurities. So the next time someone shares their unwanted opinion about you, what you're doing, or how you're choosing to live your life, remember these 2 things. 1, ignore them because they're not living your life. And 2, they also have insecurities of their own. Number 2, your value isn't dependent on how much people like you. Allowing ourselves to get sucked into the emotions and opinions of others is one thing. But one of the more difficult problems is allowing the actions of others to affect how we view and value ourselves. A good example of this are the relationships in our life. Maybe it's a friendship that drifted apart, a romantic relationship that ended, or that person who watches you from a distance and secretly can't stand to see you win in life. In all of these situations, the other person's actions have nothing to do with you. Therefore, your value is not dependent on what they do or don't do. Rather, your value is 100% within your control. And here's how you maintain that. Number 1, don't take it personally. As I mentioned, their actions don't have anything to do with you. So if you find yourself taking it personally or as a judgment of your worth, be aware of that and let it go. Number 2, reaffirm your value. If you feel yourself doubting yourself because of someone else's actions or opinion, recognize that you hold the cards to your worth. So reaffirm that you believe that you have value. Appreciate the things about yourself that are good, but also keep growing and keep learning. And number 3, show empathy and be compassionate. You can't control other people's actions or opinions, so don't stress yourself out trying to. Instead, allow yourself to identify and understand the other person as much as possible. That doesn't mean they're necessarily right by intentionally or unintentionally making you feel less valuable. They're just doing them, so you keep doing you. Number 3, start respecting your own opinion. One of the hardest lessons to learn in life is that you simply cannot please everyone. The people you cross paths with throughout your life will always have an opinion about what you should or shouldn't be doing. And although some of those people may have your best interests in mind and will try to help you as much as they possibly can, sometimes you have to do what you want instead. Sometimes you have to trust yourself and start respecting your own opinion. Number 4, you are by far your worst critic. Sometimes what we think others are thinking is not accurate at all. In fact, it's far from the truth. What becomes the issue, however, is when we take what we believe about ourselves and think others also believe that. At the beginning of this conversation, I mentioned how we self-sabotage and punish ourselves in an effort to hide our insecurity of not feeling good enough. For many of us, anything short of perfection is failure. And rather than waiting for someone else to criticize us, we'll just beat them to the punch by criticizing ourselves. Don't do that. See, self-criticism can be a good thing if constructive. But 9 times out of 10, self-criticism is deconstructive. And the last thing you want to do is give the haters what they want by beating yourself up. Number 5, there's nothing wrong with being different from others. When people feel different from others, they don't always feel comfortable in their own skin, which leads to one of 2 things. Either they become a person who is constantly trying to change themselves in order to fit in, or they become the person who is overly opinionated and critical of those who are different from them. I don't want you to become either one. See, people have an opinion of you because you're different from them. If you were just like them, then there would be nothing to talk about and they wouldn't have an opinion of you. So if people are talking, let them talk. Your job is to stay focused on you, the things you value, and the goals you're trying to achieve in your life. Number 6, be true to yourself, which implies that you have to get to know yourself first. When I started this self-discovery journey to reinvent myself, using tools like minimalism, getting my finances under control, and adjusting my habits, I remember staring at my reflection and not knowing who I was. Obviously, I knew my name, but anything deeper than surface level was unclear. And having this lack of clarity acted as a magnet, attracting unwanted opinions, thoughts, and criticism from other people that I then overvalued. So if you take anything away from this conversation, know that being true to yourself is an absolute game changer for how you view and value other people's opinions. And if you need some additional guidance, check out the following 2 playlists I created on this channel: How to Regain Control of Your Life and the Get Your Life Together series. Both are linked in the description below. Number 7, find your tribe. Somewhere out there are a group of people who can identify with you and appreciate you for who you are. So don't waste your time trying to hang on to those who expect you to conform to their wishes, wants, opinions, and criticism. Life is far too short for that ish. So cultivate authenticity. Only then will you find those who you are meant to be with. And with that, I'll leave you with this. Keep growing, keep learning, and always stay true to you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.